Michael, here we are, Kenny.
There, we're here.
We're
Party's on.
here. That's right.
Welcome, everybody.
We're going from one thing to the other here, man. It's
Yeah,
2 o'clock p.m. Big
two
payback
o'clock.
time in Nashville. This is so Middle Tennessee's big payback. It's like a big event where we've got like almost 1,000 nonprofits who have altogether raised over $3 million since 6 p.m. last night. Uh,
That's great, man.
yeah, it's crazy. So for our part, we've been doing live streams since 6 p.m. last night. So it's you're right. It is crazy.
So we're on the home stretch now, so 6 p.m. we gotta go.
Yeah,
Dude,
we've only got like 3 more hours.
four,
Three,
4 hours. Yeah,
four more hours.
yeah, 4 hours.
Uh,
Just pretend it's 3.
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Um, so, hey everybody, I'm Michael Neff. I am project coordinator with Mission Discovery. Nathan's here, and then we have one of my really good friends who I really honestly owe our friendship to Rob Cantwell. But Kenny Foster is with us. He's a musician here in Nashville. He and his wife are two of the most beautiful, wonderful people you'll ever meet. So I'm so excited for the next 30 minutes. So just stay here. Don't keep your phone on. I know we're trying to limit screen time, but this is screen time you're you're going to want to stay for. So
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Mikey,
Well,
yeah.
take it. What
Okay.
are we doing here? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just Kenny, I wanted to check in with you, just see how you're doing, what's going on with you, and one thing I'll say this. So you and I travel a little bit together because even though you sing for a living, really, you also generously donate your time to come on Mission Discovery projects and lead worship with us. And literally every time you come on a project with me, we end up just like eating somewhere really good and having just wonderful conversations. And so I just thought, wouldn't it be great to we're not eating, but have a really wonderful conversation. So, how's it going?
it's good, man. Thank you for that. And I will say this because I can't toot my horn too hard. It wasn't always generously donating my time. You guys took really, really good care of me when I was broke and struggling. So the fact that I'm getting to tour how I want and write how I want now. It was the dream I always had. I think Rob was the one who brought me first, and then Stan. And I kept saying, guys, like I want to get to the point where like you guys aren't having to take care of me in any way, shape, or form, so we can just be in this together. Yeah, things are weird here, as I'm sure it is with every other nonprofit anywhere. My wife is in live events as well. She's a live event producer, usually for televised award shows. And since those all went to home and the crews have been obviously shrunk down to bare minimum, it's been a really interesting, weird time for the Fosters. But we save well and we live small. And I would like to say that that's for any of the youngins out there. Let me just go ahead and tell you, saving well and living small is probably like the mantra. Like, go ahead and chase the job, do the thing that you want to do. But if you can do those two things, then it reduces a lot of stress. So we've been freelance since I graduated from school, which is years ago. And and so I'm used to this. I'm used to this making what we've got stretch. I think it's important. It's sort of that like manna for the day concept where
Yeah.
look, today's what we have, man. And if we're trying to put too far ahead of us, then I think we're just going to end up going into deeply terrifying anxiety because it's right around the corner. My sister, who's actually a pastor in Tulsa now, she said that the pandemic is sort of it's a program running in the back of your mind all the time. And so all of your other processes are taking bandwidth or sharing bandwidth with that. And so we wear down easier. We're maybe like quicker to anger. Like there's a lot of things that happen in our brains, minds, and hearts. and to like give ourselves grace for that time. So to know that that's running and that everyone else's is running in the same way. And so I think it's really helpful to try to run my days and my interactions with people in the exact same way. Like, let's just have a lot of grace for everybody during this time, because this is weird. It's unprecedented. And this is not how any of us planned it to go. But I hope we can come back from it something better than normal.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely the hope for sure. Man, I know that this has to be strange for you, because I was just looking around the internet earlier trying to find something to show people, to kind of give them, here's Kenny Foster, here's what he does, because your music is so good. What I found was that that it looked like you were on a world tour last year, right?
Yeah.
2019. So now you're stuck at home. It's like,
Yeah, it's funny. One of the things I've been doing to fill in the time is interviewing other musicians that are stuck at home. So we did this interview through one of the promoters in Germany that I do some shows with. Sound of Nashville, great people there. But we, I think we did 140,000 miles last year. I think we did 13 different countries. And at least Guatemala and Northern Ireland were in there because I was there with you guys.
Yeah.
So, and it was really interesting how the routing ended up, and Michael just called at the right times, and they were weeks that I had free.
And I mean, Guatemala, Northern Ireland, but don't forget exotic Panama City, Florida.
Listen, man, and not Panama City Beach, ladies and gentlemen. Panama City, very, very different place.
Very, very different.
Very different. No, man, all good trips, man. The more and more trips that I do with you guys, places in need, people in need, devastation and poverty start to look very, very much the same. And I think that the emotions and the needs are ubiquitous. Like, it doesn't change. The culture changes, the specific needs change, but as far as like the emotional needs and like being present and listening well and talking and encouraging and then doing small acts of service, like, it's the presence itself that makes it worthwhile. And my business is no different, man. Like, if people really just wanted the songs, they can buy them, and trust me, it's probably going to be better sung on the record. It's probably going to be more perfectly played on the record, but it won't be real, and it won't be present, and it won't be there. And I think that's what has made this time so interesting / difficult, because we're in each other's presence right now, but not in a way that is tactile,
that feels true. Yeah.
Because I write songs as well, but trying to write over Zoom, like, you just don't get the vibe, and everyone gets a little bit more tired, and it's just a different thing. It's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
I look forward to us getting back soon.
Yeah, Kenny, one of the things I really appreciate about you when we're on projects together is you make it like your personal goal to connect with people. We have like, one of the things that we're able to do on projects is bring in like a worship leader, and I don't know if there's anybody that I've been on that takes as much time as you do to connect. I remember specifically last year on the Guatemala project, we were with Xavier High School from Connecticut.
Yeah.
This Catholic boys school, and you are just like listening into these stories of these teenage boys, and just really connecting with them on a personal level. I love that about you, and I love just the idea, the kind of that intentionality of like, we're connected here, but let's take a step further than just, we're here on a mission trip together. Let's really like find commonalities. And
well, why else are we doing any of this, if I'm being really honest? Like, and I think we were talking about it a little bit before we went live here, but like, I understand why these constructs exist, man. I understand why we have levels, and we have expertise, and we have doctors, and we have VPs, and we have workers. Like, there's a reason constructs exist. It makes functioning as an organization easier. And there's a reason that schools have chaperones that then get plugged into a project like Mission Discovery and take them under the guise that we are doing good works in foreign nations. But there's so much happening in the midst of the things that we have to do to get these things to happen. And I, whether through music and through my interactions and through conversations, and one thing that I think Mission Discovery does particularly well is recognizes, look, these are just constructs. We are the kingdom of God right now.
Yep.
And we have one another right now. And anything that we brought to this moment that we're having that puts us at distance from one another or puts us above one another or beneath one another, those have been eliminated. And that's how we're going to run this. And this thing is going to be you and I connecting on a human level and trying to figure out why we were brought to this moment and how we can help one another into the next. And I feel like if we're not taking that role seriously, that's the great thing about projects and about camps and about this whole process of getting away from our comfort, getting away from normal, is that we have this opportunity to rethink how we even go through our daily routine, rethink how we brush our teeth, rethink what we're putting into our lives, because everything's been stripped. And quarantine is that, this long extended stripping of what we normally do. My prayer is that we don't rush back into normal, what normal used to be. Like, let's put the big rocks in first. Let's think about how we're reconstructing our lives when we go back. And I hope that my interaction on a trip or my interaction in a conversation or through, a stupid Quarantine with Kenny hosting show, like whatever it is, I hope people are refining what it is that they actually care about. Maybe discovering about themselves and one another that when they go back to their quote unquote regular lives, it looks different for all the right reasons.
That's good. That's good stuff right there.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So again, we're in the midst of the big payback. I hate to break up the conversation to do these little announcements, but we're in the midst of this big payback. If you all are watching right now, I know Nathan has tagged in the comment section a way that you can donate. We're raising money for Mission Discovery. Kenny Foster is with us, and he has been on many trips with me and other people, and so it's just really good to have you. Kenny, I know you offered that you might sing a song for us, and I'm excited for that. So is that something we might get to hear?
Yeah, man, let's do it. I mean, it's not going to be it won't be a Kenny Foster original. I think it's just a tune that I sang. I think I sang at my very first mission camp in Juarez, Mexico, and
rock on.
It's a Sandra McCracken tune. It's just an old rewritten hymn, but it's one that I really love. And every time I get to sing it on a project, I know that it's not the most well known, but I feel like it's the one that I end up finding. That's my consistency. That's one of my big rocks on a trip, I guess, is singing this song. So it's called That Mercy. That mercy, my God, is the theme of my soul, the joy of my heart, boast of my tongue. Thy free grace alone, from the first to the last, hath won my affection and bound my soul fast. Without thy sweet mercies, I could not live here. Sin would reduce me to utter despair, but through thy free goodness, my spirit's revived, and he that first made me still keeps me alive. Thy mercy is more than a match for my heart, which wanders to feel so hardness depart. Dissolved by thy goodness, I fall to the ground and weep for the praise of mercy I find. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Great power, mercies, thy goodness I own in the covenant love of thy crucified Son. All praise to the Spirit whose whisper divine seals mercy and pardon and righteousness mine. All praise to the Spirit whose whisper divine seals mercy and pardon and righteousness mine. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. There you go.
Yes.
Awesome, man. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. What time is it? 2:17. I guess Courtney's coming on around 2:30, right? For a hold
Yep.
update, Michael.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, man, Kenny, thank you so much for sharing that song, man.
Of course, how are you guys doing right now? I mean, I know no projects are not going. You were telling me
Yeah,
a little bit. It's time to rethink some things or think outside the box. What's
not
going on?
rethink some things. Not rethink some things. It's like we're doing a pivot, I think. We're seeing
Hmm.
so we're rather than being uh, I think too reactive, I guess is the a good way to say it, is like we're trying to get ahead of the ball, like how mission discovery, like Kenny, you know this is our motto is to love is to serve, and so that's something that's always ringing in the back of our minds. It's kind of always stuck with us, and so as we entered into the season, the question was, how can we best love and serve right now? How can we best love and serve each other, the church? What is God saying through us right now? Where's our space? And so we've done a couple things to kind of get into that space. One is devotionals every morning with a different guest, whether it be, I mean, we've had somebody from Thailand give a devotional, and somebody, from Maine and Wisconsin, and I mean, just everywhere. And just what we found was really been eye opening to me is that mission discovery is not ours. It's not. We're part of something so much bigger. Our network is so much bigger. There's a family here that really cares deeply, and we're all bonded by what you're talking about, by getting into this space together where everything else is stripped away, and we get the opportunity to focus on what truly matters for a week, and then some people come over and over again, and so we're all something happens there. We're bonded together, so it feels like a real family. So hearing from Teresa in Wisconsin and Renee in Maine, and all these people, and how God is speaking to them during this time, and having that as a chance or an opportunity to encourage the rest of us. It really opens our eyes and say, well, this is the church, and this mission discovery thing. It's not about us. It's not about us keeping the ministry going. It's not about, this is just, it's a network of people who truly care deeply about one another. And so that's been eye opening, to see that. So,
That is the good news, my friend.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm seeing Tracy Lynn is on. Kenny, if you remember last year, we were in Guatemala, and Tracy reached out and was like, "Hey, I'm in Guatemala," and,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
we realized, like, I don't know, it was like 5 years ago she had been on a mission discovery trip with the two of us, and then we were all three back in Guatemala, in Antigua again, and we met up and
Yeah.
had just a really good time of, like, catching up, and then we were near, like, some people playing live music, and you did a short set, and I love
I
those
forgot about
moments that just happen when I'm hanging out with you, and that
that.
was definitely a really fun night that last year.
Yeah, man. It's a strange way to put it, but like it's just the communion of saints, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
is.
yeah,
It is some of the best, most beautiful moments are the ones that are spontaneous and the ones that bring full circle our time here and our
yeah,
purpose here.
Yeah.
And whenever those come into focus or clarity, and we can create a moment for people to just appreciate how crazy and how insane this life is, and how these little bouncing ideas, these glimmers of our past and ourselves and how we've grown in these moments, and all that comes through one another and in the times that we've shared together. And so, it's Tracy, it's great.
Yeah.
And that's I've been telling this story throughout this time, but we checked in with Richie earlier today, and I'm saying how basically you and your wife Sarah were over in Ireland, and your wife was like, how is Mission Discovery not over here? And you guys messaged me, and that was the start of our Northern Ireland project. Ireland. Which we're hoping to go back to in October. So hopefully you'll be there too, Kenny.
I would love to be, of course. Yeah.
And I know that you can't see this either, Kenny, at the comments, but Nathan Bryant says he hasn't seen you since 2014 in Guatemala, and he misses your gorgeous head of hair. So,
this whole thing. What do you mean?
This whole thing.
I felt particularly Farrah today. Like, I don't know what this is, but like I haven't had like a nice trim in a while. So let's just see if we can make it down to the butt before this whole thing's over. Let's just see, take my carotene and my omega, and let's just see.
I think we have enough time. So 2014, when you were down Guatemala, you were actually down there purchasing boots for a crazy idea you had, which ended up turning into one of the most random experiences of my life, which is I get a call from you asking me, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Do you want to go to Charlotte? And I said, sure, why not? And we ended up in Charlotte because you were part of a Super Bowl commercial for a website company, and we ended up on the Motor Speedway in Charlotte with Danica Patrick as you were trying to sell her boots.
Man, talk about this communion of saints. Like that is one of the most random. Like, I forget that happened. Do you know what I mean?
I will never not forget being like on the speedway, Danica driving up, you getting in the car, me throwing boots at you, and then like going over to, she drives off, they go over to the monitor, and they're like, does he have his seatbelt on? As she's like driving 200 miles an hour around the track with you in the car.
My hands were full of boots. What was I supposed to be doing? My favorite part of that whole thing is when you like helped me in with the boots and everything, but Danica was already in the driver's seat, and you just leaned in, you went, big fan. And then
I gave her the thumbs up, and I was like, big fan.
But it was so like, big fan, not like, hey, it was so good. And I remember that. That's let me go ahead and let me tie that circle into something.
Yeah, go ahead.
The tour support video that you guys saw from the world tour in 2019, from my last tour, the video guy that we took with us on that tour to Europe, to Asia, because we did an armed forces tour. We were in Singapore and other Guam and a place called Diego Garcia. Anyway, so that video guy was the director from that Danica Patrick shoot.
Oh, no way.
Nice.
So we met on the Danica Patrick shoot, and now literally all of my video content that exists.
I had no idea. That's awesome.
Kenny Jackson. Yeah, we met there in Charlotte, and we're dear friends now. He's a good human being. So,
well, real quick, how can people get your music? What's the way to engage with you?
I say Google it, man, because
it's there.
Google knows what formats you're using. They know what. Like if you're an Instagram person, I'm on there, but like all you got to do is search Kenny Foster. KennyFosterMusic.com, Kenny Foster Music on Instagram. But yeah, just come say hey. And the whole reason I'm here is to support Mission Discovery and draw attention to y'all. So, yeah, dude, love what you guys do. I'm happy to see what happens on the other side of this, and I can't wait to get back out there and making good things happen with you all again very, very soon.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
excited for that day.
Yeah. Kenny, thanks so much, man. I know, we're about to run into our hold update with Courtney, and I know a lot of people have wondered about Jamaica Christian School for the Deaf, and that, we're doing all these ministry check-ins. That's a huge ministry that we're a part of, and we weren't able to check in. So she's going to give us a little background or check-in from the Jamaica Christian School for the Deaf. But while we get off the phone here and I try to get her on, I want to see if I can't pull up. You said Google it. That's what I did. I Googled Kenny Foster and I pulled up this awesome 2019 World Tour video. So I'm going to see if I can't pull it up really quickly while we're on the phone. It's going to be interesting having to do that. So
to say the least.
Yeah. So I'm trying my best right now to do it, and let's see if it happens. It worked.
Gold cap. We were holding out for the Dom Perignon, and it ain't that. But the way I see it, it's good enough. Remind me again, what were we saving that for anyhow? A Grand Slam win, a perfect moment. Well, how about now? 'Cause the way we've been running, I'd say it's good enough.
I want you to take a look to your left, and I want you to take a look to your right. Remember who you're here with. Remember their faces. No matter what we're doing, right? Whatever it is, we're trying to put the best days beyond us. If you're looking around right now, we've all chosen to be here this moment, right now. These right here are actually the good old days.
You can't keep waiting for the good times, good times. Can't keep slaving through these rainy days. We're both in this for a long ride, joyride. Ain't that good enough? Ain't we good enough? Ain't that good enough? I know we're good enough, babe. Yeah, I know we're good enough. It's good enough.
Thank you all so much. Have a great night.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Right?
How we
Hey.
Doing good. Mission Discovery shirt number 37, right here.
Yeah. You have them numbered on the tags in the back?
Well, of course, and they're in number order by year.
Nice.
And then of
Very
course, can't
nice.
forget the sweet Hold the Children hat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
they-
I
hat.
like that. Yeah, so if you're just joining us, we just had Kenny Foster on. It was really a sweet, special time with him. Now we're going to run to our Hold update with Courtney. So Courtney is a director of Hold the Children. Just real quick though, if you're joining us, we're like right in the middle of raising money. This is the big payback, and right here in Middle Tennessee, we've got almost 1,000 nonprofits that have joined this one giving day. And so the benefit of that is there's all these incentives and prizes and things that you can get whenever you get, a lot donations and things like that. Together, all of us together have raised over $3 million, all of the nonprofits together. That's crazy, since last night at 6 p.m. Now, it's 2:30 here in Nashville. We're going to check in with Courtney. We just need this ministry to continue, and we're looking to look in your comments here and click that button to go over to the donate page. We need this to continue into next year, and you guys are awesome. Thanks for joining us. Courtney, welcome.
Hello, hello. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we saw you last night, and now you're back again with a hold update. I know a lot of people have been wondering about Jamaica Christian School for the Deaf. I don't know if you got in touch with Miss Sophia there, but how's everything going with the hold program?
Yeah. Let me just kind of do a quick word on the hold program, and I'll certainly get to an update on JCSD and other schools as well. I know a lot of you guys have been joining us in the big payback since last night, since earlier today. Surely most of you that have been on Mission Discovery trips have at least heard of Hold the Children, but that is Mission Discovery's child sponsorship program. I became the director of that program in 2018. Through that program, we have 12 schools where you can sponsor children in need to help get them an education. We have 9 schools in Haiti, 2 in Jamaica, and 1 in Guatemala. And then we also have an orphanage on the northern coast of Haiti in Port-au-Paix, where about 45 children live. They range in ages from about 8 years old to 18 years old. So lots of different things going on with Mission Discovery and with Hold the Children, and that just means a whole lot of different ways that your giving can help and can support our ministry. Not only does it support the mission trip side of things and, of course, our ministry partners, but it really does help benefit these Hold schools and help continue to provide education to all of these children. The combined total of those 12 schools equals a little over 2,500 students. So that's a lot of children's lives that get impacted through simply giving and supporting Hold the Children. So thank you so much to those that already do give, that are sponsors, that have given through this big payback campaign. We really do appreciate it. And just a quick word on that, if you are kind of following the campaigns, there is one that I created titled The Big Payback for Hold the Children. While any amount that you give benefits our ministry as a whole, funds given specifically toward that campaign will go directly to the support of Hold the Children. So feel free to look into that and make a donation while you're checking it out. We'd greatly appreciate it. But yeah, that's just a little bit kind of about Hold the Children in general. I know that the Jamaica Christian School for the Deaf is really one of our most popular mission trip location sites. We take hundreds of participants down to Jamaica every year, and they all quickly get very well connected to the School for the Deaf, and the school director there is just wonderful, and I know that many of you are friends with Miss Sophia Reed. Unfortunately, I was not able to get with her in real time for right now. But I was able to touch base with her this morning and just get, kind of an updated word from her. We have been in touch throughout this whole process. But essentially, basically by mid-March, definitely by the end of March, all of our Hold schools in all 3 countries were closed. They have been closed since that time, unable to have students in classrooms, unable to have teachers on site, all of that sort of thing. I mean, kind of like it is here in the States, the biggest difference being that our Hold the Children schools don't have any sort of capacity to do online teaching for their students. That's not an option. The schools don't have the resources to provide that. But more importantly, the students do not have internet access. Most of our schools do not have internet access, much less students in their houses. They don't have internet. They don't have computers. So it's much more detrimental for our schools to be closed because in most cases, the children aren't really continuing their education until school gets to open back up again. We do have a few sites where they've been able to print off some worksheets and send them home, and we're really grateful for that. I know that Myra mentioned that in her Kairos update last night. They've been busy working on basically take-home packets for the students that the parents come by and pick up at the beginning of each week. And so they are doing a really, really great job to try and help continue educating these kiddos. But I got sidetracked. Jamaica Christian School for the Deaf. Miss Sophia and her family are doing really well. There have not been any students at the school, like I said, since about the end of March. The faculty and staff hung out there for a little while after school closed, and then once they realized this was going to be longer than anticipated, they did go ahead and send faculty and staff home to their families. Those of you that have been there know that Miss Sophia lives there on site with her 2 boys, and the school principal, Miss Diane Thompson, also lives there on site with her family. So they are still there, living in their homes, kind of living the daily life, trying to keep up the grounds of the school and things like that. They have been able to touch base with students' families just to kind of make sure that they're doing well at home, and they've gotten overwhelmingly positive reports. As far as we know, everyone is healthy and well, and we're very, very grateful for that. They are just anxious to get kids back in school because at the Jamaica Christian School for the Deaf, they do teach deaf children and children with other different abilities as well. And really, when they go home, they don't have any way of continuing that education. And in some cases, they don't really have any way of communicating with their families because a lot of these children, although they may know sign language, most of the time their families do not. So the environment at JCSD is just crucial to their growth. And so this time at home, this time away from school is definitely hard on them. It's hard on Miss Sophia as the director. So certainly keep her in your prayers as you are reminded. But they're grateful for the good reports of health for their students and teachers, faculty, and staff. We do hope to be able to get back down there at least by the fall of this year. We had several teams scheduled to be there basically throughout the whole month of June and on into July. And are, at this point, June's out of the picture and not entirely sure about July yet. But yeah, that's just kind of a bit of a more in-depth update on the Jamaica Christian School for the Deaf. At some of our other schools and locations, good news is that a lot of these schools that are closed have actually started feeding programs. Because Hold the Children does sponsor these schools monthly, and by the grace of God, we do still have donations coming in from those monthly partners. We're able to continue, helping these schools out. So teachers are still getting paid, which is a huge blessing. In all of our locations, teachers are still getting paid, able to support their families, even though they're not really able to teach and to work right now. But yeah, I was saying that in some of our locations, schools have opened up their doors for just about an hour or 2 each day to pass out meals to students, to children in need in the community, and in some cases specifically for the elderly in their area, which is really, really neat. So the school directors are all definitely staying busy with everything that they've got going on and trying to keep in touch with their teachers and their staff and check in on students and their families just to see how they're all doing. But good positive reports so far, even in the midst of, such a huge change for everyone, really.
Yeah, Courtney, I know the story that is always told about how Hold the Children started in the first place was back, what was that? 15.
Somewhere in the 2000s actually is when it first transpired, and then we didn't start a support program until about 2002. I think so.
Okay. But Don Schreier was actually visiting one of those schools in Haiti, and children were literally sharing pencils because they didn't have enough pencils in the classroom for everyone to take the test at the same time. So, I mean, if you can imagine a school in which children have to share pencils just to do the schoolwork, there's literally no way that those kids would have access to internet, have access, be able to use, the tools that we kind of take for granted here in the States to continue that education. So, I'm sure this is pretty disruptive, but hopefully very soon, they get back to being able to open their doors again, to teach and to have those kids come back. And correct me if I'm wrong, but in most of our schools, there isn't a hot meal provided, Courtney?
Yes, and yeah, in most of them that's the case. Not every single one. So when they did have to close down schools, that was a big concern because for a lot of these kids, that meant they weren't really going to get a regular meal. They didn't really know where their next meal would come from. So that's what inspired some of them to kind of start up this feeding program, not only for students, but also for other children in the community as well, just to ensure that they could get at least one hot meal during the weekdays anyways, Monday through Friday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's really great. I kind of referenced briefly that we do also have an orphanage on the northern coast of Haiti. So I did want to share a little bit more of an update on our Hold Home Orphanage. The director there is Pastor Franklin. He is just a gem of a human being, wonderful man of God. So grateful for him and his leadership and just the way that he runs the home as a whole. So with the 45 children there, obviously they are not in school right now, so they're all at the home all day long. The staff are trying to, come up with activities and things to keep them entertained and occupied. But of course, they're also helping with a lot of the daily tasks, the cleaning and the cooking, and just the general life skills that they need to develop as well. But I actually just heard from Pastor Franklin yesterday. Great report that everyone is still healthy and well, which is a really big deal because in a country like Haiti, especially, if this virus did anything near like what it has done in the U.S., I mean, it would just be devastating. Mm-hmm. Certainly because they don't have the health care to really combat it. So we're hearing good reports, from ministry partners, just that our kiddos, our faculty and staff are doing well and staying healthy, and we're very, very grateful for that.
Courtney, did you say 45 kids at the Hold the Children home?
Yes, 45.
Yeah, so there you go, parents. You're quarantining with your kids. Just think about having 45 children that you have to keep occupied while you're sheltering at home. God bless that staff.
Keep them in your prayers.
Yeah.
I mean, just remember, there is no internet. There is no screen time. It's playing outside. It's cleaning up around the house. Just doing what they can to keep everybody at peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that Courtney. I've been to that home up in Port-au-Paix, and I visited probably most, if not all, of the schools that Hold the Children is responsible for or has something to do with. And if you're watching this and you've been on a mission discovery trip, most likely you remember a child from that trip. It's not necessarily the buckets of concrete that grab your heart. It's the children that are running around the work site that grab your heart. And so for those who go to Port-au-Paix with Courtney and visit that home, it's like these kids, that you'll remember them. So I want you to think of those kids right now. The thing about this is if you're just joining us, what we're doing is we're doing a 24-hour giving event with a group here in Middle Tennessee because Mission Discovery has to keep going. Courtney's here talking about an orphanage that we are solely responsible. That's 45 children plus staff that we are solely responsible for, plus other schools. How many other schools, Courtney?
So 12 schools total, plus the orphanage.
12 schools that we contribute to for these children, for their education and for food, and for other needs too around the school for staff. So right now is a really critical time for Mission Discovery because we're looking at if you joined us last night for Jimmy's update, we're looking at quite a deficit this year. And that's why this 24-hour broadcast is a Hail Mary for us. It's like we got to come up with anything we can do to raise money right now and to think about the stakes. What's at stake right now for Hold the Children? If for all these children, how many children does this affect? Courtney?
I mean, essentially the 2,500 children that are in our 12 different schools.
Yeah. So think about the 2,500 children that their education will suffer. They will more than likely suffer physically because of they're missing a meal a day, and just even the orphanage too. The whole orphanage that has 45 children there, just a direct. Uh, this would be devastating for that home if we don't make up the deficit. And so that's why we're looking at our trips. We're not running trips in June or right now. We might run trips in July, but without that, we're looking at quite a lot of money that we have to raise by the end of the year as a staff. And so we are trying everything we can. We appreciate everybody being here, watching this update with Courtney. We've got updates. Our next Haiti update, we're talking about Haiti, is coming in at 4 o'clock. That's with Pastor Noel, who's one of the schools as well. So it's just, there's a lot at stake here. And so if you can, look at the comments, and if you have it in your heart, just click that button and go over there and donate what you can. Right now, donations, if you click to the right campaign, there's matching campaigns and things like that. So your dollar will go further. That's why we're doing it right now, because we have different ways that people can get involved. We would love for you, I noticed Courtney in the comments here too, we would love for you to go to our website even and sponsor a child. That's $30 a month. The holdthechildren.org website. You can go there, sponsor a child for $30 a month. Courtney's always looking for monthly sponsors. You can also sponsor an entire school, I think, by giving a certain amount a month. And so there's just plenty of ways to get involved. The thing about that we always learn in missions, guys, is that there's goers and there's senders, right? So right now, there's no goers. There's only senders. And so now's the time where if you still want to be a part of missions and mission discovery, and you can't go, so please send $30 a month. Go to the campaign page and send some funds, and that goes directly to, if you go to the Hold the Children campaign, like Courtney said, that'll go directly to these schools that she's working with right now. So anybody else have anything else? Any updates or anything?
No update, but also you can also sponsor a child at the Hold Home. Mm-hmm. Those cost a little bit more, but we've actually found ourselves in a bit of a situation because the home has been around long enough that we actually have kids that are in high school who live there still. And not only that, they've got to pay high school fees. That's happening out of the Hold program as well. So, Courtney, give me the numbers on them, number of students and also costs on those two parts.
Yeah, certainly. So it's already been mentioned, but just kind of a general student school sponsorship is $30 a month. For the children living in our Hold Home orphanage, it costs approximately $150 a month to provide for their basic needs: food, clothing, lodging. That is for our non-high school students. Our high school student cost of living doubles to $300 a month because their high school fees, as far as tuition and books and uniforms and all of that, is about $150. For our high school students, it's about $300 a month. So again, all sorts of different levels of sponsorship, and any way that you're able to help is certainly appreciated, and is definitely a blessing and a huge benefit to these children who really have a place to call home because of Hold sponsors that have made this orphanage and this home possible.
Yeah. And once again, another thing I see with this program is kind of like it's been a theme of what we've talked about during this live cast. It starts out as one small thing, and the next thing you know, God gets in there, and it just gets so much bigger. I'm sure Don never thought about 2,500 students, 12 schools, 45 kids living in a home. That home was actually built by some teams that went down, but mainly hiring Haitian laborers to do that. But funds were raised here in the States for that project to happen. They've got other building projects as well. They're still trying to work on the boys and girls cottages to get these older kids separated from the younger kids. So, we just got to quote a famous phrase, we've got a plethora of opportunities for you to help jump in this Hold the Children program. Your gifts make a difference. We are one of the few places or organizations that 80% of every dollar goes out to the field. That's mission discovery across the board, which includes the Hold the Children program. So we run lean, right? And we do that on purpose. We want as much as possible to get out there and make the impact that you desire for your money to do. So we try to abide by that. But think about it. So $300 a month is only $3,600 a year to send a kid. That gives them, send a child. That gives them a place to live, food, all their supplies, and gets them in high school. Come on, guys. Right. $36. That's some people's coffee budget. And again, I mentioned this earlier. If anybody knows of anybody that can do a matching program for us, we'd love to have a matching time, maybe 5 to 6, maybe that last hour of the fundraiser. I'll take it any hour. But if we can get it in the last hour or whenever, and then we really put a hurting on them in the Lord, that would be just a nice little gift to help these kids get what they need, these children to get what they need for all the school locations.
Yeah, so just to clarify, if somebody were to, how did they do that? Would somebody email us, or how does that work, Jimmy?
Yeah, email. I've been checking email. I've been checking Facebook messages. Okay. But get a hold of me, Jimmy Rivera, Jimmy. Is that right? Yeah, Rivera. Drop me a message on Facebook Messenger. I'm open over there. If you have my phone number, text me, and then we will get you the details. Like I said, you can set limits. We'd love for it to be open-ended. Some people might be able to do that, some not. So you could set the parameters for what you'd like your matching funds to be, and we'll abide by those. So we had a very successful one at the 6 p.m. hour Wednesday evening. That's last night.
Last night, yeah.
It was a long time ago. Very successful. Actually used up most of those matching funds like within the first half hour or so.
So somebody just said, "Hey, Jimmy, I want to say donate $1,500. So the first $1,500, I'll match that. So if people give $1,500, it becomes $3,000." Right?
Exactly. And actually,
this is math for me.
That donor did 1.5 for every gift.
Okay.
So every dollar that was given, that donor gave $1.50.
Okay, nice. So $1 became $2.50.
That's the ticket right there.
Okay, so they just email you, contact you on Facebook, Jimmy@missiondiscovery.org or something like that. Say, hey Jimmy, I'll donate $1 in matching, whatever, and however it works, and then you'll work it out with them. So the thing about that is we're getting ready to go to our Haiti. No, it's not Haiti. What do we got coming up here? It's only 3.
Is it Tecate?
It is. It's Tecate. Yeah. Tecate check-in with Anna. And so if you've ever been to Tecate, you know Anna. She is a gem. We all love her very much. And she's going to tell us how things are there. So that's coming up in 5 minutes. Then at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, we got a Haiti check-in with Pastor Noel. But so you're talking about at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, there's a final, we're calling it the final push, or like the last hour.
General Mayhem.
General Mayhem, Michael says. So it's like when we're going to come together, and we're going to party. We're going to try to get our goal, which right now sits at $20,000. Right now we're sitting at just over 13,000. So we're going to go ahead and hit it now, so we don't have to push so hard in the final hour.
I actually know people that are waiting. I know of people that are waiting to make a donation for a matching challenge to come up, so that it'll be even more. So,
wow, okay.
They're waiting to hear some good news.
Maybe I can call one of the people I know and see about a matching donation for the last hour. But that last hour, 5 p.m. Central Time, everybody. Make sure you check out the updates we have in the next 2 hours. But that last hour, when I was writing the schedule, I just wrote in General Mayhem. It's just going to be, and we're gonna send this 24-hour live stream off with a bang. So Please come back and join us for that as well. We'll all be live and just throwing out all the stops for the last hour. So hopefully you join us.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, why don't we just bring the heat?
We are bringing the heat. That is true.
Yeah. Well,
Nathan doesn't like it when I use those as our agenda items.
What's that? Bring the heat.
When I just like have a schedule item that just says bring the heat. You need bullet points.
And then there's nothing to follow. Just bring the heat. And I'm just like, okay. Well, no, you know what I'm thinking? I'm like, okay, this is 23 hours in, and all that's right here is bring the heat. So,
It'll be great.
Yeah, it will be great. Maybe we invite the rest of the staff back on, or maybe Michael has more of an idea of special guests and things like that he's got up his sleeve. I don't know. But Courtney, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for that. I know that took a long time to gather that information and to put it into chunks that we can follow easily, and you did really well with that. So I just think it was a great update. For those of you who are looking for a way to donate, click the button in the comments and please support the ministry. Want to keep it going, and we will see you back here in 3 minutes on the. Yes, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, we'll see him. That's it.
Oh, okay. We'll see. Yeah, we're going to go to a different feed. So this feed will end, but keep the Facebook page open on Mission Discovery, and you'll see another feed come up. So, all right.
Guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.